So you got into climate change, which is on my list of things I wanted to talk with you about. And on the podcast, you've talked about climate change, and I think one of the thoughts that we share is I have zero confidence in our federal ability to really do what needs done. I just don't have any confidence. I do have a little confidence in our local ability, and hopefully that will then transition into a state ability.
Yeah.
But where my hope lies is that I'm hoping other countries will lead the way. You mentioned on your podcast that your hope kind of lies, and correct me if I'm getting this wrong, but your hope kind of lies in technology. Could you unpack that a little bit?
Well, yeah, I would say actually it's more of a fallback.
Okay.
Technology is important. That's in a way that's the race we're in. It's like this donkey that's just plowing forward, just shitting all over the place. And technology is the thing with the scooper trying to pick up the shit that keeps coming out of the donkey. So we're in a race with our own technological advancement against our system, which is completely and utterly corrupted. Corrupted meaning it doesn't work to begin with. It's incompatible. So the technological solution is not the true solution. It's what I say needs to happen because we're too far down the road. Even if you stopped all emissions right now, it's still super messed up out there. It would take years to recover, and it's not going to happen. And we did see with COVID, at least the sky started to clear up in Asia. You saw like a little hint of the ecosystem returning, at least the atmosphere returning to some balance. But of course, industry starts back up, economic growth starts back up. So the reason the reason governments don't do it is because the entire foundation of governmental support is based on economic growth, whether through taxation or just the fact that they are really a business entity. Government in this kind of economy is ultimately a business entity. And people don't really pick up on that. And of course, the United States is the biggest exaggeration of that, but it's the same throughout the world. So business dominates. It's how these nations keep moving. So you're not going to see that kind of change, and they'll keep talking about it and giving lip service to it. But all of these COP21 and the Kyoto Protocol, they accomplish nothing. What do they do every single time? They say we need a guarantee. Even in Canada, there was a couple of years back, they tried to impose some fines on Canada because they were violating their carbon emission standards. And literally the Canadian Prime Minister just pulled out. He just said, I'm sorry, we have to worry about our economy. I'm not going to participate in this anymore. Look, and that's exactly the way Trump thinks. And all of these guys actually think deep down. So to clarify, technology is going to have to be used. We have to find ways to use technology to clean up the environment as fast as we can. But that's clearly a race that we're not going to win at the current trajectory. If we have the same methods of industry and we're not, in California, like, oh, we're going to have cars that aren't powered by gas in 15, 20 years. Why not 1 year? Why not? Because you can do that if people care. But the reason is it's an economic transition. That's why the oil industry continues its powerful lobbying. They want to keep their market share. They're not willing to make these shifts, which they could have done literally 50 years ago if they wanted to. They have to do it incrementally because they have to maintain their market share. So this slow grind is going to keep wearing away this civilization. Same goes for socioeconomic inequality, in fact. But anyway, I won't go on that tangent. So yeah, technology is important because we have to fix the problems we're creating, but it's not the solution.
Well, what are some technological advancements that you are kind of hopeful for, like when it comes to climate change?
Yeah, in terms of the Bill Gates and some others have pondered this mechanism that can pull the carbon out of the air and then store it underground. So I think that's probably going to happen. I think in buildings, for example, they incorporate this kind of extraction system from the atmosphere. You could build it into the infrastructure, and obviously you have to have structural change still, but that could at least slow things down a little bit. So that's one thing. That's probably the best thing actually you can hope for. You have to have a mechanism that can just start taking this out. I mean, the trees, there's other slower processes. If you reforest a lot of places, as you might know, it will suck in a whole lot of CO2. The fact that we continue deforestation is just insane, especially right now. So that's the core one for that. There's lots of other technological solutions for all the other ecological problems. Let's remember, climate change is just one of the severe ecological problems, just one. There are many others.
Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news silicone. We'll go through it together and